Patriots Day is Peter Berg's second disaster film in the course of just a few months. It centers around the events of the Boston Marathon told from multiple different perspectives, such as the police, the bombers themselves, a couple of victims, etc. It stars Mark Wahlberg, J.K. Simmons, Michelle Monaghan, John Goodman, and Kevin Bacon, and is directed, as previously stated, by Peter Berg. So, it seems Peter Berg has finally found his niche. It's hard to believe that the guy directing this also took on Hancock and Battleship not too long ago. But in recent years, he's pumped out movies like Lone Survivor and most recently Deepwater Horizon, which was in my top 10 movies of 2016. And if I had seen this last year, this would be in my list as well. This movie is extremely well done. I think this shows a lot of people that were concerned about having this movie made because it hasn't been too long since the actual disaster itself, that it's not about time. It's not about how long it's been. It's about if you can make the movie respectfully, and you can make it correctly, and you can just overall make it good, I think that you should be allowed to make a movie about the scenario. Peter Berg doesn't just say, screw the real life people, I'm making a cool movie. He genuinely pays respect and homage to these people, and that's what's really, really great about this movie. It really embodies what happened. Not only does it embody the chaos and just this is the worst possible situation that the police and the victims could be in, but it also brings everybody together, and you sort of see a community come together in a real time of need. That's what's conveyed so well, is the different parts of this movie and the different tones that are laid out and conveyed during different aspects of this film. The beginning is more so the chaos. When the bombing actually happens, it was interesting because I noticed a sort of Paul Greengrass-esque type of style of directing from this movie, and I think that's actually the way to do it, and I think Peter Berg sort of did that in Deepwater Horizon as well. He knows how to show chaos. He knows how to embody that through a camera and through dialogue, and that's sort of what Paul Greengrass likes to do. There is a way to do shaky cam and sort of, not everyone exactly knows what's going on, but these two, as well as J.J. Abrams, seem like the three that know how to do it correctly and not just do it simply for the sake of fucking juggling cameras around. I'm talking about you, The Hunger Games. I hate you. But, it seems like at the beginning, this thing is embodying chaos. Towards the middle, it's trying to tell you, this is not a good situation. This is not anything short of awful for the police. They have one choice that when they do that, there's tons of backlash and bad things that could happen, but if they do the other thing, it's the same exact thing. And then you get to witness this community come together in a time of need to just really figure out what's happening and what needs to come next. That's what's so well done about this movie. The other thing I want to talk about is the screenplay, because the screenplay really took me aback. With movies like this, you don't always notice such a, phenomenal screenplay. The characters have dialogue, but you're usually sort of focusing more so on the other events of the movie than you are on the actual script. But the way specifically, if I had to point to one thing with the screenplay, the way they set up this movie, the beginning 10 to 15 minutes, I was really taken aback. I was sort of thinking, who wrote this? Because it's a very good screenplay, and that's why I was shocked to find out the guy that wrote the RoboCop remake, and it was one other writer, I can't remember what he wrote, but it also was not a very good movie. Those two guys and Peter Berg wrote this movie. I was pretty shocked by that, but the screenplay is really great. The dialogue, it connects the characters as opposed to just the cheap stuff that movies like this sometimes like to do. You really feel that connection through the screenplay, and you really set those characters up. And it can also provide moments of comic relief, but can also be very dramatic. The other thing about this movie is it doesn't play on cheap emotion. It doesn't do that. Considering the fact that this movie is real, and not very many people, know every single detail about this, directors are able to throw in cheap shit that would just, make you be really sad even though it might not be true, but Peter Berg decides, hell no, we're not doing that. We're paying respect for this movie. Every emotion you feel in this movie feels genuine. It doesn't feel crammed down your throat. It doesn't feel like Peter Berg was kicking you in the leg, like, feel sad. This movie feels emotional, and it's genuine, and that's a theater experience. That's why you walk out of this movie saying, man, how devastating, how terrible, and you feel for these characters in this movie, and you feel for them in real life, because the sorrow brought and the anger brought to this movie is genuine. It's nothing being crammed down your throat. It's all real. The final thing I want to talk to you about is the performances. I don't really think, they were too layered. They didn't really have a whole lot to do with their performances, but what they were given, they were able to do with the fullest extent. I think they did a great job in what performance they were allowed to show. Like, John Goodman didn't have to act that much. Same thing with Kevin Bacon. But, the five of them, like the main characters I'm sort of pointing to, all did a great job with the screenplay they were given. In my opinion, it's sort of similar to Spotlight, where Spotlight was an excellent film with an excellent screenplay, and the actors in it, I don't think necessarily had excellent performances. I thought they were good, but it was because they were sort of just reading this fantastic screenplay laid out in front of them. I think this is sort of a step up from that in terms of performances. I think they did have some more to do. Specifically, I would say J.K. Simmons, Michelle Monaghan, and Mark Wahlberg. I think they all did a great job showing the dialogue through themselves, and that's sort of what's shown about the performances with this movie. So, overall, guys, I really, really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was a great theater experience. I think everyone needs to go check this out. It's going to break your heart. It's going to make you devastated, but I think it's in a way that should happen and needs to happen, especially for people that don't know the story, because this isn't just, it doesn't stop at the bombing. That's why this thing makes a long and well done movie, is because there is a whole entire story to this thing. There is more that happens after the bombing, and they kind of show that to you because the bombing is very much towards the beginning of the movie. I would highly recommend checking this one out. I think it's a very important one to see. When I say it's an enjoyable theater experience, I don't mean like, oh, I'm happy watching this. I mean, it's a great movie, and you're going to walk out of it thinking that, despite the fact that you feel all these genuine emotions. So with all that in mind, I'm going to give Patriots Day a 9 out of 10. I didn't feel like it was, 10 out of 10 movie. There's obviously minor issues with it every now and then, but I think that this is definitely worth a 9 out of 10, and you guys should definitely check this out. So, what did you guys think? Have you seen Patriots Day? Have you not seen Patriots Day? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all next time.